So this is actually one of the most secure methods of authentication, and I'm going to show you guys what it is, how this works, and how to set it up. So what I have here is what you would call a Yubikey, and this is made from Yubikey. And what you do with this is essentially plug it into a device directly, and after plugging it into a device directly, you would use it to authenticate yourself. So something like getting a text message where you have to enter in a code, or maybe you have a multi-factor or two-factor authentication. It's similar to that, but it would be replacing it. So normally you would either go into an application that you download on your phone, something like Microsoft Authenticator, and punch in your code or accept a prompt or things like that. And what this little device does is replace that by plugging it directly into your phone or into your computer and authenticating that way. It's a passwordless authentication protocol, and it's more secure than SMS or even using the multi-factor authentication application. So the ones that I'm using today are these Yubikey 5 series. There are other brands that sell these for a little bit cheaper, but Yubikey is probably the best place to get it from. It's definitely the most well-known and best in the industry. And it offers a variety of different ones, as you can see here. It has USB, USB-C, it has Lightning, and it has different form factors. You can get to pick which one, and they're ranging from 20 bucks up until like around 60s. And if you were interested after watching this video, I'll leave a link in the description where you guys can go pick one up. But let me show you guys how it's actually configured. The most common things it's used for are like Microsoft or Google accounts, but it can be used for a wide range of things. So all of the different methods that you can use this are FICO2, which is the security key method of just plugging it in and authenticating that way, because it's actually stored on the key, because all the authentication is stored on the key itself. You can use OTP, which is basically a one-time passcode. When you open up a multi-factor authenticator app, you will see that it has all of those codes stored in it. This device can do the same thing, and it stores those codes on the actual little USB that you would plug in. And another thing that these are used for, as long as you get one that supports NFC, all you would do, just like a credit card, you would just hold it up to the back of your phone and it'll unlock automatically. Now let's go over how to configure this in Google. Again, you can configure this in Microsoft and a ton of other products, anything that supports FICO2 or even one-time passcodes. So all we're gonna do is head over to the browser and go to myaccount.google.com and make sure you're signed in. Head over to the security tab and you'll notice all the authentication options. And we're gonna click on passkeys and security keys. And then continue on through these prompts, create a passkey. We're gonna use another device here. And just continue on through the setup. And now all we gotta do is plug that device into our computer. Now, after plugging the device into the computer, you're just gonna have to tap it. It depends which ones you have. The tap might be on the front of it or maybe even the sides. And now, as you can see, it's registered to the Google account. And just be sure to turn on your two-step verification. That way it actually registers when you go to sign in. Usually this is when you sign into a device after a few months or maybe a new device. That'll be when your authentication prompts. Of course, that would be for Google. Every application, every piece of software will handle this a little bit differently. Now there's a little bit more to the Yubikey. We just went over the way you can use FICO2 as the passkey authentication. You can also use this as a normal authenticator app by downloading their authenticator through the Microsoft Store. You can also get it on your phone and Mac OS. And all this does is download that authenticator app for you. And as soon as you plug in your key, you will get all of those codes that start popping up. Now, FICO2 is the main authentication that we want to use for this to keep our security as tight as possible. And FICO2 is a cryptographic key pair, which is some of the highest security that you can get. These are really easy to get your hands on, and to use these, it feels awesome because you're incredibly secure. And if you don't need that much security, it doesn't matter. You'll feel really important and kind of fancy. And it's just really cool to have one. Some quick tips is to actually try to get a spare if you have the money to do so. You'll always want 2 keys on hand if possible. If you lose one, you're kind of SOL, so having a backup on hand would be super useful for you, or just make sure that you have another type of authentication as a backup, because you really don't want to get caught with your pants down there. So I really do highly recommend Yubikey. Again, they're an awesome tool. But that's really it for the video, guys. Please like and comment down below and subscribe if you really enjoyed it, and stay tuned for more.